Boyle and Reid, isn't it?
It was early on. It was firing from all cylinders to start the year. Alec Reid picked up a bit of a medial ligament strain in his knee. I think it was. That kept him out of action a little bit, but certainly clicking here early on. And danger signs for Dapto. 10-0 down. Kick to come. You imagine it'll be 12 pretty shortly. Well, we're barely 5 minutes in.
They're continuing on the form from reserve grade. We've just seen the Collegians reserve grade put 68 points on Dapto in that game. And now we're just seeing 5 minutes gone. It's already 10-0 to the visiting side. So, look, they are continuing on with what they put on the field last week, Collegians. But, look, Dapto, their second half against Corrimal last week, it was a lot better than their first.
They'll be hoping the rest of this game goes better than their first
exactly.
5 minutes, indeed.
Yep.
Collegians, speaking to Blake Phillips, the skipper through the week, weren't quite happy with the way they finished that one off. Certainly coming in with plenty of impetus in this one. It's what we see these top three sides do so often, Johnny. They come to these, what you'd call danger games, and just have a habit of hitting their straps from the get-go. Really snuffing out the resistance quickly. Dapto needing to find something.
If Collegians were worried about coming here and not getting the jump on Dapto, I tell you what, that's out the window today, and I'm sure Nathan Foon absolutely drummed that into his side today before they left the dressing sheds to run onto Dapto's shoulder.
Come on, Dapto!
You really do question a Nathan Foon coach side attitude-wise, do you? They're usually pretty switched on in that regard, and Dow brings this one back.
14, move! In the middle hole!
That kick off as Wood takes it forward. First time we've seen any footy down this end of the park
15
thus far.
off the
It's been all
ball.
at the
3,
Dapto end.
Hole!
Rig at dummy half. Thompson, he'll take it over the 30. Tackled there by Varches. Thistleweight also involved. Rig from dummy half, straightening. Finds Boyle. Flat ball there for Phillips. Phillips some footwork again. Already dropping off some tackles. The Canaries, they're going to want to switch on defensively. Reid now on the blind side. And he's tackled there by Robson. Probing down that edge. Jared Boyle, he's at first receiver. He's going to put the kick in now, looking for the turf. Peeper coming across to field it. And a good chase on that one as well. So a fantastic set there, Johnny, after points.
Yeah, well, that's a 5-star set from Collegians, isn't it, there? And off the end of that there, Boyle again. That kick was just pinpoint accuracy. It split the winger and the fullback, but the chase as good as the kick.
Then it is as base through now, take it up towards the 20. This looks like Areola over there on that side. Former Collie dog. Varches getting on the back of his work. Take it up towards the 40. Just short of it. Bufflin at dummy half. Looks like he has, in the absence of Tamakaha, gone in to the dummy half role there, Johnny Bufflin. And he shapes, couldn't find anyone, but he gets a nudge on it. Not a bad one in the end. Reid going back to field it. And they get through that one, Johnny, and they much needed set just to get to the kick and just self things down and get themselves into some sort of rhythm.
Yeah, they'd be happy with that one, a completion of the set there. A nice kick from Bufflin off the back end, and the chase was good. It was led by the man that did kick the ball there. So, you know, they would have got rid of a couple of nerves that they've been holding this first 7 minutes of the game.
As this is Duffy now up over the 40. Numbers in that tackle, a slow play. The ball rig at dummy half. And I think he's thrown that, and they'll say penalty. Looks like Brody Rigg at a dummy half there might have just pulled a bit of a swifty there and milked a little bit out of the teeth there, but credit to them, the Cluey number 9s. That's what they do, and a late in the set penalty. They are coach killers, Johnny.
I don't think he milked a little out of the teeth. It was a gallon out of that one. Absolute gallon.
An absolute Paul Gallen would call it.
Smart play by Brody Rigg. Very smart.
Very clever. As we see Wood now take it over the 20. And they've really set up camp down here at this Dapto end. Signing a long-term lease on it. Thompson, second man for Boyle. Second man again for Reid. Some space. A lofted ball over on that side for Ellis. Ellis tackled there by Kamisala. Dow. And from dummy half, Rigg, and he's going to barge his way over there as well. And no, they'll say penalty. Sure what the call was there.
Took the marker out.
Yeah, the arm goes up. The marker's interfered with there. So Brody Rigg getting across. We know how dangerous he is there from close range.
You couldn't get enough money on at the tab. Brady rigged 10 metres out to go himself.
And I've got to tell you what, I can already tell you, I owe a big apology already to Robbie Baseru and Sammy Kamasala. I've been calling Robbie Baseru on this side closest to us, Johnny, but that is Robbie over there with the football now in the number 2. And he's taking it up just short of the 30. Ready over there on that side. Takes it up just short of the 40. Bufflin at dummy half again. Areola flat ball for Varches. Hawkins directing traffic here on the left side of the ruck. They go the other way. Robson putting the kick down. He'll get that in behind Reed, hoping it'll pull up for him. It looks like it will. So a good kick there from the veteran Reed coming back centre field. And he's some enterprising play there. Lucio on this side. A little bit of space. And now he's got Duffy on this side. So some enterprising play from deep inside their own half. That says something about the confidence this team's feeling at the moment, Johnny.
Oh, well, why wouldn't they be confident? 12-0 up. We're just gone into the 11th minute of this game. And it just seems to be all one-way traffic at the moment for Collegians when they've got the ball in hand.
Spencer now up on halfway. Rigg at dummy half. Boyle at first receiver. Second man there for Ellis in off the left wing. Looking for some work. He's up on the Dapto 40. Will play it to Rigg. Rigg on to Thompson. And Thompson, the second man there, it's had an air swing there, big Josh Dow, but the ball hits the deck. Play on the call. And it is Spencer who'll play that. Dow now bumping his way forward. Met there by Rouse. He gets away from Rouse and goes again. Big Josh Dow. Taking plenty of stopping there in the middle of the park is Dow. Rigg at dummy half. Cross. He puts that on the toe. Peeper's got a touch on that. He's going to have to go back forward. He will. And Jake Wood's going to claim a try there.
They're going to point to the spot here.
And he's going to point to the spot. So there it is, the third try. Here we are inside 12 minutes. And Troy Peeper, usually safe as a bank at the back there, Johnny. But a moment he'd like to forget there. And Jake Wood, will the front rower, he won't score an easier try than that one.
Yeah, it was a nice little effort there from Jack Cross putting the kick in there. And it just took a deflection there off Troy Peeper. And was it Jack Cross that flicked it back into the infield there, chasing his own kick?
It had looked too big off the
yeah.
move. I think just the tiny deflection it took there off Troy Peeper's hand, just held it up a little bit. Hard to see from here whether it was a mistake or whether it was a bat back from Cross, but either way,
it looked like to me.
Result remains the same.
Yeah, it looked like a bat back there. Nevertheless, it's 4 points, and they've just extended the lead here, Collegians. And Troy Peeper, as you said, usually safe as a bank. And I tell you what, when one person in your team's off, Troy Peeper, the whole team's got to be off because he's usually so good.
He's such a reliable, constant force for the Canaries there at the back, but really haven't got out of the shed today. The Canaries at home. 13 minutes down, 16-0 the score. Cross will attempt the conversion, moves in, and he's absolutely had a barrier at that. I didn't even put the mock on him there, Johnny, for the record. I was going to back him in, but I thought, no, I better not. And he's absolutely shanked that. Nails it from the sideline, misses that one. I reckon I could have lobbed that over for Jack Cross. I didn't even give him
There's a challenge. Have we got a challenge? Is there a challenge? But you're right. We've seen him absolutely kick some crackers over the last couple of seasons from the sideline. You think, oh, he won't get it. But those ones like that, they seem to be his Achilles heel at times.
They are the tough ones, aren't they? The ones I certainly couldn't throw it over. And if we see a mistake now at the other end. Another rare one from Jared Boyle. Will count the mistakes he'll make through a whole season on one hand. You can add a digit to it here, and a much-needed golden opportunity for Dapto here.
Well, it gives them a chance now, doesn't it? They've got 6 tackles close into the Collegians line. They're going to feed the scrum 10 metres out. They'd really want to score off this set of 6, Mitch, or at least try and go for a repeat set, just to give them a bit of confidence for the rest of the game.
They'll just want to get through a set here and start to build some pressure of their own. The first time they've been down this end, Abu Garda shimmies to the outside there. Met there by tackle of Lucio. Duffy also involved. Semi Kamasala at dummy half. Peeper. A little bit flat here, the Canaries, as Varches will settle back towards the post. He's right in front of the left upright there. Bufflin at dummy half. Slow play the ball. They come left to Hawkins. Flat ball there for Thistlethwaite. He's inches away from the line there, Thistlethwaite. Bufflin at dummy half again. Varches All a little bit flat-footed here. Areola, second man for Robson. Peeper over that side, McCann. McCann takes on Manton, but Manton making the tackle over there. Robson to Areola. Areola backing his way up. The ball's come loose there. And Colley's come away with a play on is the call. Johnny, we said we'd like to see them get to the end of the set, not the one they would have been looking for there.
No, not when you're peppering Collegians' try line there and you haven't been down this end of the field all game, and you don't need to throw them passes. No matter what you are on the scoreboard, those passes don't need to be made.
There's Lucio in off the wing, looking to do some of the hard, strong work to help his big men out. Lucio, Rig at dummy half. Phillips, he's up towards the 30. Will play the ball right on that 30-metre line. Second man there, Boyle to Manton on that side. In fact, I think it might be Jai Ellis who's come one man in there. It was Ellis. Boyle, he'll put the kick from outside his 40, just looking for touch. And Troy Peeper will let it roll over. So they stand up to their first defensive test there, Johnny, and get a nice kick and a settler on the end of it.
Yeah, nice end of the set there from Boyle. Just put it over the sideline. Both sides will just walk to the scrum here and soak up a little bit of time here. But yeah, good first up defensive set on the line from Collegians. But Dapto just making that poor decision there, trying to belt that ball out the back. They don't need to do that.
It was a bit of a strange kick, I thought, there to kick it. You know, they've had a lot of footy. Collegians early on. Dapto been under the pump defensively. You think the temptation might have been to keep the ball in play and turn the big Dapto forwards around, but they get to walk back and just get their bearings a little bit. But let's just say Jared Boyle a far better tactical kicking brain than myself, Johnny, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Well, he's probably backing his side's defensive ability here to try and force an error.
And they're calling for a penalty, and they will get it, and that's a relieving one. Kemasala, both the wingers, Robbie Baseru, Semi Kemasala, they just suck so much juice out of the defensive line, Johnny.
Yeah.
Really get these sets going forward, and Kemasala earning a penalty for his side there.
It's just a standard first set of 6 every time, isn't it, for the Canaries? Both wingers coming in just going bang, bang.
Hawkins now on to Varches. Varches takes it up over halfway. Dumped on his back there in the tackle of Wood. Thompson also involved. Rouse now at first receiver. He'll step off his left foot, dig into the line, take it over the 40. Bufflin now on to Robson. Areola taking it up towards the 30. He'll play it to the right of the post. Varches now at first receiver again. Flat ball there for Rouse. Might have been forward. It was. And Johnny just looking clunky with the footy at the time. We saw their first set down the other end. A lot of flat-footedness, a lot of passes going sideways. And that one there, I don't even know if Jace Ralph was even expecting that one.
No, he wasn't. No way in the world he was expecting that one. But you touched on it earlier on. They're just really flat. There's no shape to this Dapto attack at the moment, and we talked about it during the week on the Taste of Steel about Dapto's just lack of shape and structure at times, and it's just starting to show here in this game.
Early on we talked about that man Tyson Tamakaha missing. His absence conspicuous to this point, really struggling to get any momentum through the middle part of the field there. Hard to have momentum through the middle part of the field when you haven't had much footy. But with what they have had, just a little bit pedestrian from the Canaries to this point. Cross at dummy half. Lucio in off the wing. Taking it up towards the 40. Rig finds Phillips. Tackled low there by Hawkins. Thistlethwaite also involved. Wood, he will settle. Take it up towards the Canaries 40. Driven backwards there. He'll play the ball from his back. Rig at dummy half. Dowell with support, but he'll tuck it under his arm. That's a good front on tackle underneath there of Archers. Ralph's coming in over the top to finish that one off. Boyle now looking to put that one on the ground, make it bounce for Peeper. And Peeper brings it back. We can see already, Johnny, the Canaries, they're just a little bit slow coming back on side here. They've had a mountain of defensive work to do early on as Kemasala taking it forward there. Hawkins from dummy half. In fact, that was Baseru. This is Kemasala now. He takes it up towards the 40. Just short of it. Hawkins shapes blindside, goes open to Varches. Varches still edging his way forward. Dumped on his back in the end there by Dow. A couple of the big boys mixing up there as Robson now finds Reddy. Reddy off his right foot. And he'll play just short of the Dogs' 40-metre line. They'll go short side to Robson, puts this one high. He's looking for Baseru coming through. Alec Reed, but he takes that one well, and they bundle him into the turf there, Johnny. That was a brave take. You got big Robbie Baseru just bearing down on you there. You can leave me out of that one.
Oh, me too. You wouldn't have blamed him if he spilt that one. You look out the corner of your eye and see big Rob Baseru steaming down after that kick there. But it was well taken there from Alec Reed at the back.
And now it is Lucio taking it up to the 40-metre line and beyond it. Plays the ball to Rig. Thompson charging onto that one. Thompson takes it over halfway. Rig at dummy half again, last tackle. And he's found some space through the middle there, Rig. Coming across, and that's a great take there by the 16. Just come onto the park. Wallace. A very good take. It dipped on him at the end there. We don't see a lot of Brodie Rig kicking out of dummy half, Johnny, but chose his time well there, the hooker.
Yeah, he sure did. And just trying to mix up where they've had a bit of a attacking change here. It looks like Jeff Robson's gone into 9 for the moment here. We've seen Braxton Wallace go into 9 last week, a couple of times against Corrimal, but he's dropped back to fullback there. So maybe Peeper gone into the halves.
Well, it looks like Brad Buffalin's still there. Peeper into the halves, perhaps Hawkins out of dummy half. It's where I did expect to see him when we saw that Tyson Tamakaha not there. So a bit of a reshuffle. We'll have to see where the cards land, Johnny, to figure out exactly where they're going. Probably not a bad call by Murph and Penny on this one. Something's clearly not working. Need to just shake things up a little bit.
Yeah, well, Wallace.
So they go to the interchange.
Wallace has gone to fullback here, and Peeper's up in the defensive line. Looks like he's out on this left-hand fringe, so he might have gone to 6. And I
think he has. I think right. Hawkins is in there.
Hawkins gone to 9
at dummy half as Lucio takes it up over halfway. I do like that. I like Jake Hawkins at 9. Rig now. Yeah, good contact there from Areola. Bufflin also involved. And that's taken a deflection there. Play on the call. Phillips, he's streaking away down that side. Don't see him that close to the chalk ordinarily. Joy Ellis made to play it a metre in from touch. Manton. Last tackle, Boyle. He's putting this one over towards Kamisala. And that's taken well by Lucio, but he's tackled and he's thrown that into the in goal. And we'll see what the ruling is. I think knock on will be the call. And it was a good take there from Lucio, Johnny, but Semi Kamisala, he was all over him, makes the tackle.
It was a nice leap by the youngster.
There.
Great leap there.
Didn't they both get up? That was, you thought they were in the front pocket in the goal square.
No, it was great there.
Two men that can both certainly go aerial there as Varchis brings it away from his own line. Driven backwards in the tackle there. Hawkins in at dummy half, as we've noted. Bufflin now looks like he slipped back to a running back row there in the middle. Huge engine, Bufflin. And now Reddy. Take it up over the 30, and just as it wears on, Johnny, we see the Canaries starting to look a little bit more comfortable with the footy and starting to get into some sort of rhythm with it. Areola now over the 40. So short of halfway, the Canaries. Hawkins to Bufflin, who'll take it over halfway. Last tackle. Robson to the right. They go there. Puts this high into no man's land. Ellis coming forward, and he takes that quite easy in the end. And it was not a bad kick, Johnny, but the chase. Not a lot of it to speak of there.
It wasn't there at all, was it? They need to have more pressure on their kicks, really try and hammer these back 3-4 Collegians here, but they're starting to look a little bit better, Mitch. Once Hawkins has gone into 9, it seems to be a little bit more structure play here from the Canaries, and it just goes to show how much are they missing Tyson Tamakaha.
Certainly bringing him onto the footy. Have him move into that dummy half role as Cross now comes away from dummy half. He's over the 40. Return to his back row as Roots there with that carry. And now Boyle. And he's fighting the ground again. Wallace coming across the field this one. It's not the first time we've seen Boyle go for the ground and look for a bounce. Perhaps he's had a look at the pitch, Johnny, and seen a bit of uneven bounce there, a bit like it's the Cricket World Cup, and trying to find the good areas there, but not going aerial, trying to make these men at the back have to pick it up off the deck.
Yeah, well, that's 3 in a row on the last.
There he is, Boyle, and Boyle just a little bit too keen there as well. He'll get pinged for offside. Still picked up poor Abu Garda, copped it regardless, but the penalty ultimately coming the Canaries' way. Kamisala will inbound the ball there. Abu Garda onto Peeper, and Bowditch just coming onto the park. He'll play it on the 30, dead centre of the park. And now Varches just brushes away from Spencer, I think it was there. No, it's Hicks who's come onto the park. Peeper, second man, Robson. Robson dummies on the outside and comes back towards the post. Hawkins at dummy half again. They'll go short side. Peeper off his right foot. Canaries with their tails up here. Hawkins, he drops that on the toe. He's looking for base rule, and I think he's got that down there. And there is the hit back from the Canaries. Clever work from that man, Johnny Jake. Hawkins gets into dummy half. Several good touches there in that set, and he puts the ball on the deck, and well, we know how much Robbie Baseru can sniff out a try from close range.
Yeah, we said just moments ago that once that Hawkins has gone into that dummy half role, they've had a lot more structure. They look like a football team going forward. He's got really quick hands from that play the ball there, and it's allowing the Canaries on the front foot there. And smart play by the number 6 there, just going to the line, holding it up and putting a nice little deft kick through. And if any man on this Dapto Canaries side can find the trial on Rob Baseru, can't he get one?
Absolutely, he can. I like the touches of Troy Peeper there too, moving into the halves and just getting him involved. So
we've seen him over the last couple of years, Peeper. He's played 6, he's played 7, he's been at 1. He had a blinder of a game last week at 1. I thought it was I think fullback is his best position. But for the team at the moment, he needs to be up in that halves and push Hawkins into 9.
So the way they've played, you've got to give a rap to the Canaries coaching staff there, the old firm Murph and Likevol. Wasn't working, so they've just changed things up, reshuffled
they'll be claiming
the deck, and they've come back, and it's worked a treat.
Coaching
They're back
stroke.
in this one, 13 minutes to go before half-time, 16-4 the score. And people will attempt to add the extras. If you can knock this over, Johnny, it becomes a 10-point ball game. You'd be just about thrilled if you were in the Dapto camp, given the way they started the game.
If they go into the break 16-6, Murph would have to have a little smile on his face thinking it's better than what it could have been.
Still plenty to be written in this first 40. And that's waved away, so 16-4 remains the score. 12 points the margin. And you've got to give them a bit of a rap, Johnny. They were in all sorts the way they started, sluggish, slow out of the gate. But starting to get through their sets, getting a bit of rhythm into what they do. Here they are at home, and they've managed to hit back. Bit of a trend we're seeing. The slow starts, but they're coming home strong, and certainly heading into half-time. Well, this last 10 minutes before the break with their tails up.
They could have really just put their heads and buried their heads after 10 minutes of this game, but they've fought back. They've earned the right to get down the other end of the field and put points on the board now.
Now Varches being good for the Canaries. Varches. Such a big motor, Josh Varches. He's got the thigh heavily strapped, but showing no ill effects there. Bowditch takes it up over the 20.
Looks like an old school torpedo.
It does, and I love the torpedoes. How good were they? Not enough torpedoes in the game.
Ian Heron, the last man to wear them.
Mate, that's why I miss big Keith Lulia not on this side either, mate. He used to wear the old thermoskins. Hadn't seen them for a long time. Loyal. You find a good pair of thermoskins, you don't let them go, mate. People are very loyal to their thermoskins. As Hawkins out of dummy half, and he's going to try to ping the markers there, and he shoves. Hicks hits the deck. Clever work there from Hawkins. Because, of course, the 9, although he looks like he's picked up a bit of a knock there, he was the 9 in their premiership winning side, Jake Hawkins, so not unfamiliar for him there at dummy half. As Reed takes it up to the 30. Lucio heavily involved, the winger, doing the hard stuff coming out of trouble this afternoon. Hicks at dummy half, on to Manton. Manton takes it up to halfway. Slow play, the ball just getting tangled up there with Bowditch. As Thompson trying to get his side going forward. He's over the 40. That's a good carry from Thompson. Still going, Jared Thompson. They eventually halt his progress just short of the 30. They'll go blindside now to Boyle. Boyle, the kick in behind. Wallace coming across the field at Baseru gets a nice bounce there, and he'll get dumped on his back. Driving him back towards the in goal here, the Dogs. Looking for the repeat set. It's not easy to do that to big Robbie Baseru. He's a very strong man. And and he's just spilt the ball there. McCann cold as a spud. And Manton now off his right foot. That's an absolute coach killer, that error, Johnny.
Oh, that sure is there. But good defence there from Collegians, pushing Baseru back, but the error. We'll just see how that's going to affect them.
Cross. Play just breaks down slightly. He tucks the ball under his arm. He'll play 5 metres out to the left of the left upright. Hicks now on to Boyle. Boyle, second man for Reed, some space. Lucio, he's got Duffy on his outside, and Duffy will cross untouched in that corner forward. Past the call from the Canaries there, but referee Ryan Jackson having none of any points to the spot. And, well, just like that, Johnny, as we've seen the Canaries fight their way back into that one, an error. And don't the Dogs have a knack of making you pay?
Well, they sure do there. And McCann just coming up with the error moments ago there. But that combination then again, Boyle out the back to Reed, it just created the numbers there. And Lucio just had a draw and pass straight onto the chest of Duffy. And he just strolled over from a couple of metres out on that play. But look, Jared Boyle is just the orchestrator of everything out here at the moment. He's laid on, assisted in 3 tries here. Just when he goes to the line, you just know if he's going to go flat, he's going to go out the back. He's just so good at the moment.
As we see, Cross will attempt this one. Like we said, on form, Johnny, you got to back him in from here, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The way he makes light work of the sideline conversions. Sorry, Feensy, I have put the mock on him. I've got no doubt about it.
That's twice that Dapto have come up with an error in their own 20, and Collegians have just pounced on that.
That'd be a deflating one. They'd fought their way back. They'd done really well to pull themselves out of that hole they were in. Hit back with the try. But an error. A simple one at that, coming out of trouble. And the door opens up as this one will just hook away. He got a nice piece of that there, Cross. I think he might have been accounting for the wind. It sort of fell quiet on him there as he kicked it off the tee, and now it's just picked up as soon as he runs back on side. So
it wasn't your mock back, it was the wind.
No, it was absolutely the wind. It wasn't the Mitch Jennings mock, certainly not.
Yeah, that's just disappointing for the Canaries there.
8 minutes before half-time, 20-4 the score. Probably a fair indication of the way it's played out, Johnny, but as we said, was very evenly poised there through that middle stretch of this 40. And the Canaries getting things underway. Wallace with the restart. Dow coming back infield, and he's dumped on his back there. Hawkins grabbing a leg. Varches as well.
Don't fight, no, just stand.
What about those two, Varches and Dow, Johnny? Hasn't that been a battle? Neither men, the big men, neither has had a spell. They've gone all the way through here in this first 40. Really hooking into each other there. You love to see a battle between the two big boys.
Yeah, you sure do. Look, it'd shock me if Dow had a rest today. We haven't seen him come off all season.
He doesn't get it often. He doesn't get it often.
Nathan Flynn must hate him.
He's just trying to run him in
go
there.
Out there for 80, mate.
That's what you'll do as Thompson takes it up over halfway. Heavily involved as well, the veteran, as Boyle now finds Phillips. Shrugs off Robson there, Phillips. Robson comes again, makes the tackle there with Varches. That's the last tackle, just short of the 40. They go short side to Boyle, and he's going to roll it along the ground again. Wallace, he got an awkward bounce there, but he made it look easy in the end. And Dapto now very slow coming back on side. Out of trouble here. Baseru taking it up over the 20. Still very slow going. You can throw a blanket over them at the moment as Kamisala now steams onto that one. That's a carry they needed. Good effort from the winger. Plays the ball from his back, slower than he would have liked. Hawkins short side to Peeper. Thistlethwaite. He shimmies away there from Cross. He'll play his, looking for a penalty there. It won't be forthcoming. Robson at first receiver. Back on the inside for Bowditch. 5th tackle just short of the Dogs' 40. Hawkins at dummy half. They go short side to Peeper. He's going to put this one high. It'll be a tester for Reed. Wallace coming through. But he does well in the end. I think Braxton Wallace might have got called out there. He did. And Jackson just playing the advantage will blow the penalty. And again, Johnny, just some ill discipline. It was a tough start to that set, but some carries from Kamisala. Thistlethwaite there got them on the front foot, but young Braxton Wallace there just a little bit keen on the chase, and he gives the piggyback penalty.
I like the kick from Peeper. It gave him a chance of really honing down on Alex Reid there, but the chase let them down there. And you could hear Ryan Jackson yelling out inside the 10. So, look, if we can hear it from up here, they definitely can hear it.
Hicks now is up on the 30-metre line. See a shade fall over the ground here. Boyle at dummy half. Spencer. That's good first up contact there from Peeper. Really shortens up the back rower there, Troy Peeper, as the Dogs now working their way forward. That is Spencer. Boyle now, second man for Manton. Manton, the offload there for Ellis. Ellis coming back infield, tackled there by Baseru. McCann also involved in the tackle. Slow going this set for the Dogs. Reid back on the inside for Thompson. Thompson will play it on the 10. 15 in from touch on that far side. Boyle right to the line. The long ball there, and Ellis will cross untouched, and they'll say no. Forward pass. I was about to say it looked a little bit line ball from where we are, Johnny. Referee Ryan Jackson says more than that in the forward pass.
Yeah, well, you see it coming out of the hands there. It was an absolute rocket, wasn't it? It hit the chest of the Collegians winger, but the touch judge over on that side, he didn't move an inch. So we could tell it was a forward pass straight away. So relief there for the Canaries.
There's Reddy now coming away out of trouble. Tough stuff there from the skipper. Plays it to Wallace. Varches racking up the carries. Varches, he's just short of the 30. Hawkins at dummy half. Flat ball for Bufflin. Bufflin up towards the 40. Hawkins at dummy half again. They go to Robson. Hawkins from inside 40. Looking to pinch a 40-20 here, and it just doesn't take the role he was looking for. It was the right idea. And a good kick nonetheless. They make the chase. And Johnny, here we are, 3 minutes before half-time, just about the first time they've got through a set and put a good clearing kick in.
Yeah, it was good there from Hawkins. We haven't seen that from Dapto yet there, have we? That attacking sort of style of set, and then on the back of that, trying to attempt a 40-20. And the chase led by Hawkins was very, very good.
Seen him kick a couple this year, Jake Hawkins, very awake to where that 40-metre line is. And he caught Alec Reid out there. If he'd taken the bounce he wanted and just taken a bit of a right turn, he would have earned possession back for his side. Phillips poking his head through the other side there. 2 markers down, they'll go. Cross the chip for himself. And Peeper reels that in. I don't know if that was the play Nathan Feed would have been looking for, Johnny. I know he's got the 7 on his back these days, but not for that sort of stuff.
I'm just looking over to see the bench if Feensy ripped his hat off his head and thrown it to the ground after that effort from Cross. No. Yeah, look, he's a good number 7, Jack Cross. He plays real direct. He doesn't need to do that fancy stuff. Leave that for Jared Boyle.
Abu Garda now up towards the 40. That's good carry from the centre and looking to earn a penalty for his side. Perhaps unfortunate not to get it. Thistlethwaite now up towards the 30. Dapto desperate for a hit back here as half-time looms. Varches at first receiver. Second man for Robson. Robson, the kick, he's looking for Baseru. It's in behind Ellis. Baseru coming hard at this one. Ooh. And Reid, and that looked nasty over there. Alec Reid, he's copped it right in the mush there. Can't fault his courage, Alec Reid. He had to dive at that one. He had Robbie Baseru just steaming down, looking to snaffle that one. He puts his body right on the line there.
That would hurt Alex Reid.
Oh, that would have hurt. Absolutely, it would have hurt.
Robbie Baseru's legs are like telegraph poles. He's going straight into the beak of Alec Reid. What courage from the young man.
As we said, there's not a lot of that body, but he puts it on the line. Every time he takes the park, and now that's another late in the set penalty there from Dapto. Would have been slow going there on that set for the Dogs. That's got to be a frustrating one for the coaches, Johnny.
Oh, very frustrating there. You've turned them around, Collegians have come out, you had a chance to pepper them and keep hammering them inside their own area, and you just give away one of those piggyback penalties.
And a big minute 45 on the clock here. You think Collies, if they can get on the try here, Johnny, would just about put this to bed before the break?
Yeah, it'll be hard. Either way, going in at 20-4, it's going to be really hard for Dapto in this second half, regardless if they go in again or not.
It's Wood now over the 30. Hicks at dummy half, cross. Flat ball into the line there for Lucio. That's what you like to see from the number 7. Catching the ball on the run. Thompson. Thompson again with the footwork. He's pulling it out of the kit bag this afternoon, Johnny. He'll play it 8 metres out. Boyle at first receiver. Second man there for Reed. McCann coming up and in. Needed to as well, and he comes again and makes the tackle. Done that a couple of times this afternoon. McCann on that side. Been all over Alec Reed. Meter out. They go short side. Hicks trying to barge his way across. And I think he'll be held up there. He will. So they'll send him back out to the 10 to start again. In fact, I think it was the last tackle there.
Yep.
So Dapto, they survive.
I think for the first time this year, Josh Dow's having a bit of a break.
He has. He's got a spell.
He's got a spell. Nathan Feen's got a heart.
Finally gave him a spell. He must have heard us from up here as Baseroo now comes out of his own end. 13 seconds left on the clock. Can't imagine we'll see too much adventure in this set from the Canaries, although they're finding some space on this side. And Abu Garda just ran behind his own player there, lucky not to be pinged. Now Wallace has it. He throws the ball to himself and then away from himself. And now Kamisala making that tackle on Duffy. And that'll be just about where things end. Boys getting a bit antsy on half-time, but no harm done. That will be half-time here at Dapto Showground. 20-4 the score in favour of the visiting Collie Dogs, the hosts, with it all to do in the second half. We'll be back with that second 40 in just a little while. Well, welcome back to Dapto Showground. Still beautiful sunny conditions here. Second half of this one coming right up, 20-4 the score to the visiting Collegians Collie Dogs. Dapto yet to come back out onto the park, but Johnny, what do you think the message from Chris Lightvoll and Mick Murphy would have been in there?
Well, I think the first message would be start this second half better than what we started the first, because
you would hope so.
They missed the jump big time there. A couple of crucial errors there, costing them points early. But they tend to got a little bit better through that middle part of the first half. Once Jake Hawkins went into that dummy half role, he really got the
They
front
certainly
foot
looked
showing.
a lot better.
They
certainly
did.
looked a lot better.
And that's it. We touched on it during the first half there, how important Tyson Tamakaha is to this side for the rest of this season. I don't know why he's out today, but they really need someone like that to get their sets off really fast and quick and just get them on the front foot, because, look, they're wingers. They get them rolling really good, but they need something in that third, fourth tackle up the middle of the paddock, and that's where Jake Hawkins is doing a good job.
There's no doubt that is where Murph and Penny would be chatting to some of their men in the middle. So if you could just give us a bit of a platform, they're still near enough, 40 minutes, plenty of time. And we've seen they've become quite the second half side. Johnny, that big win over West a couple of weeks ago, held the Devils scoreless in the second 40 in that one.
Well, they did it to Corrimal last week.
And last week came home with a vengeance against Corrimal to win that one. So they are a bit of a second 40 side, Johnny. They'll need to produce, no doubt, their best second 40 of the year so far to get back into this one.
Yeah, well, it's going to have to be their best performance of the season this second half, the last 40 minutes of the game. 16 behind on the scoreboard. Look, it is doable, but they're going to have to be at their very, very best. They did it last week. They went to the break 8 points to 4 behind against Corrimal, but look, Collegians are a different outfit than what Corrimal are.
Oh, very different, and we'll see how well, you talk about it often, Johnny, the halftime speeches Nathan Thien seems to give to his side. They always come out firing to start that second 40. They've got a knack of doing it. So Dapto will want to hit the ground running in this second half. Still not on the park. Yeah, they're leaving the Dogs hanging out there a little bit.
Yeah, just
in this half.
Just had results come in, Mitch, as well. In the other game, Western Suburbs are leading Berkeley 10 points to 4 at half-time, and we know that one out at Gibson Park, Thurul v Corrimal, has been deferred until the 20th. So only one other game on in the Illawarra competition. And look, Berkeley doing well to hold them 10 points to 4.
10 points to 4, an interesting one there. We'll have to follow that with interest.
So I think you and me talked about that one on the podcast during the week, and we thought it could have been anything.
I thought it, yeah, indeed we did. As we see the Canaries now making their way back onto the park. They'll get things back underway. Getting that sun back out. The conditions for footy this afternoon are marvellous. I think we expected, Johnny, when we saw the way the weather had been, we'd be rugging up and coming out here and be blowing an absolute gale. That windsock completely off its hinges, but
one out the Cleary Brothers one at Wynn Stadium, be blowing everywhere, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, but beautiful, beautiful conditions here. It's a marvel, Dapto Showground, the way you can drain. Just incredible, as Thompson now steaming onto this one from the back fence. Takes it up towards the 20, and we'll just see the intensity that Canaries can bring in this opening set. Spencer, there we go, and that's the start of it. You were hoping you'd see some, and Hawkins there lifting them with and without the footy since moving into the 9 position. Phillips now up over the 40. Hicks up over halfway.
15, move! Lock in, hold!
Plays it now to Reed, a dipping pass there to Cross, finds Wood. So good progress up the park in this set. The Dogs in position for an attacking kick. And they go short side for Cross. Cross rolling that one on the ground there. And Camisala's had an absolute barrier with that one. An absolute shocker there. We were raising an eyebrow about this tactic this afternoon, Johnny, of Collegians seeming to want to put the ball on the ground and make this back three for the Canaries have to pick it up off the ground, and they get some joy there. So egg all over my face on that one.
We talked about it at half time, why the option was to roll on the ground. Well, you've just seen why they've continued to do that there. And was it Kamisala that made the first error of the game for Dapto in that first half off the kickoff?
I think it was. He was getting pushed into touch there and had
Yeah,
to throw it back
so there we
inside.
go.
So they're trying to sniff out an error. So again, start to this half. Not all that different to the first one. And McCann outside in making that tackle on Manton. But not at all the start Chris Lightfold, Michael Murphy would have been looking for. Spencer now off his right boot. Held there by Varches. Ready coming in to finish that one off. Hicks at dummy half. Cross. Second man for Reed. Dragged down there by Peeper. 5 metres out, 10 in from touch. Cross now. Flat ball for Wood. Wood backing his way towards the try line. I'd say in front of the black dot, but there isn't a black dot on these crossbars at the showground. Hicks now to Boyle. Long ball, Boyle. That's a nice one from Ellis. Ellis with some space. And the flag goes up. Beautiful ball there from Boyle, Johnny. But to tell you what, in a one-on-one situation, you're going to do very, very well to brush off Robbie Baseroo there with that much space.
Yeah, well, he did a lot better than what I thought he was going to do, Ellis, there. I thought Baseroo would just absolutely manhandle him and throw him into the dog kennels here at Dapto Showground. But look, very good work there from Ellis there to hold him up just inches from the try line there. But Baseroo, look, you're not going to beat him that close to the line.
He's a very big, strong man. Yeah, well, he's picked up a knock in doing it, Robbie, down here on this side. Young bloke, Joe Ellis, they just watched those guys in a row. See the way he held him off and then jumped. You always have to tell him, mate, you know there's no video referee down here, mate. You're going to have to just try to tuck it under and barge your way across. We're not going to have any of those lofted fingertips inside the chalk efforts. But can't they finish now? You watch these young guys, they watch the guys at our level and what they do.
Back down, second row is locked.
But it filters down to all grades, doesn't it? We've seen it numerous times in this competition, the way some of these wingers score tries.
We see Kamisala now offload there for Abu Gard. Abu Garda crabbing his way back infield.
Lock in. Hold. Go.
Hawkins onto Kamisala.
Move 8. Lock in. Wait for 15. Wait for it. Wait.
Slow play the ball there from Kamisala. This with weight on that side.
8. Stand. Left side. Hold. Go. 3.
Hawkins dummies. Pinches a couple of metres out there. Dummy up. The ball's come loose. And they'll say knock on. So again, coming out of trouble there, Johnny. They can't get to the kick. They'll open the door for Collies to start a set from deep inside the Canaries' end.
Yeah, it's not what they want or need to do at the moment here, Dapto. They really need to complete their set of 6 here, get a good kick on the back of it and try and force an error. 16 points behind on this scoreboard, and doing these silly little mistakes isn't going to wear down that lead that Collegians do have here. Just keeps giving Collies the chance to post more points.
It would be the challenge. Doesn't matter how good a try is, you can't score a 16-point try. They're going to have to be in it for the long haul if they want to work their way back into this. Hicks at dummy half. Spencer with a head of steam onto that one. I think it might have been too much of a head of steam. It was. You call that a bit of the exuberance of youth there, Johnny. He steamed onto that one. He just didn't wait for the footy.
Yeah, he was hungry for that one. And just looking over here, Jared Ball's absolutely blowing up deluxe
well,
over there.
I think they got it right. I've got to go against you on this one,
No,
Boyley. Sorry.
Me too. He's pleading his case.
That's
in the
unlike
touchies.
Boyley. That's
Yeah.
unlike Boyley, isn't it?
Yeah. Could have been 10
Question of
metres
decision
forward.
to blow.
10 metres forward. What pass?
Robbo to feed the scrum. That looks like Thistleweight on that side.
He was enormous last week against Collingwood Thistleweight.
He really did. I was watching that one on the stream. Johnny, as you know, I was laid up with the foot up, but yeah, outstanding he was on that edge. Hawkins at dummy half. He's going to try to catch the markers out here, trying to grab a penalty. Unlucky not to get one there. I thought he'd caught Hicks out in no man's land there, but he'll play the ball slower than he would have liked Hawkins. Peeper, flat ball for that man Thistleweight again. He'll take it up towards halfway. Over it, in fact. And now Varches. Varches takes it up over the 40. Dumped on his back, 3 involved in the tackle. It is the last. They go to Peeper on the short side. And that kick down goes to Reed. He lost it in the sun there momentarily, but he He brings it back, and as we said, such nice conditions here this afternoon, Johnny. You can bet that sun is going to be bearing right down on the eyes of this Collegians back three in this half. It might not be the first time we see the likes of Peeper, Hawkins, Robson looking to go aerial.
Yeah, I reckon it's going to be the trend now for these Canaries 6, 7 and 9 there, just to put it to the sky, because as we've seen off that one, Alec Reid, he nearly lost the ball there in that sun. That sun's really come out here in this second half.
So you look at John Cross at the back there, water runner extraordinaire. He couldn't see, had both hands up there. He couldn't see a thing in that sun.
They've even got the Oakleys on down there.
Hold, stand, don't work, hold.
Steelers great John Cross as they go open and back to the blinds there on Phillips, and forward pass is what they're asking for. Robbie Baseru pleading for it here. Give me something, he says, on this touchline. There's Thompson now. That's a good carry from the lock forward, leaving Josh Varchers in his wake there. Hawkins coming to make the tackle. Boyle on the short side. He's going to put this one high. Baseru there, and it looks like, here we go, we've got a couple of guys in the back play that don't mind it here. Boyle and Hawkins. Still getting amongst it, those two. There's a couple of competitors, Johnny.
What about old Buffo here, the water runner? He's in on it. He's going to step back now.
He's going to have to now, isn't he? I saw it go back there. I didn't think there was too much in it. I think Hawko was just he was just making a bit of a tackle on him there, but we know kickers are, they're in a vulnerable spot, very easy to react if you cop a knock. And when I saw the numbers on the respective backs, I thought, oh, this will be interesting.
Two very competitive players, aren't they?
Yeah, they don't take a backward step, either of those two.
I think we're going to go back. I know we've just seen a nice little bit of 80s action happening here at Dapto Showground, but I think Rob Baseru's actually knocked this ball on from that kick.
I'm glad you were across it, Johnny. I was in back. I was watching the back play.
So was I, but lucky I'm mic'd up here to the refs.
Yeah, okay, well, there you go.
This could go either way, but here I think Boyle reacted to the knock that Hawkins did.
Judging from Boyle's reaction here watching on, I don't think he's happy with the way this one's going to go.
He wouldn't be happy if it went his way.
Well, that's true. That is true.
That's just push and shove there. I'd
love to see it play on, Johnny, to be honest. Not a lot of harm done in the end.
No, nothing there. All right, guys, just go back to your team where less than 10 minutes in. We don't need that. We've got the one-on-one script, which went into a knock-on. It's a Dapto feed up here.
So no action taken here either side. So both captains going to go and speak to their respective sides here. And it was a one-on-one strip there on Baseru, and it's just come up with a Collegians knock-on. So it'll be a Dapto feed of the scrum.
There was a one-on-one strip, but you guys...
Thank you, Johnny. Thank you to the referees on the park for that one. This is what happens. You see, you got the pro with his own microphone. He brings in his earpiece.
Back down!
Walks in here like he's Rabs Warren.
Okay, let's go, Robert.
And he's mic'd up to the referees as well.
Out!
Bar TV sponsored.
Voice of the North.
Move 11! Lock in! Hold! Hold!
That's Varchers now playing the ball, and he might actually get a spell, Varchers. He's coming from the park. It's been a hell of a first shift for him.
Hold!
Dapto still edging their way forward for Abagata, and that'll have to be a penalty, you think. I thought there was 2 or 3 times in that instance the arm might go up, but in the end they gave Ryan Jackson no option there but to blow the penalty, and a relieving one for the Canaries as Peeper finds touch.
You think this battle will continue between Hawkins and Boyle?
Oh, I've got no doubt it's going to continue. That's two blokes with long memories. As two blokes who do exactly that. Hawkins at dummy half. Dummies to Areola. Second man for Robson. Robson, second man again for Wallace. He has to lean down to pick that one up. So momentum lost on that play.
13, hold here. Hold here.
15 in from touch. Rouse, that one nearly went through the back of his head, that pass, but he reels it in.
15.
Dragging defenders forward. Rouse trying to get a quick play the ball. Robson, ready. Bumps away from Manton. Bumps away from Spencer as well. The ball goes out the back, knocked backwards the call. McCann ends up with it. Ellis making the tackle, so it's all a bit backwards at the moment for the Canaries. Last tackle, Robson. He's going to put this one high. He's looking for Kamasala on that side, and that's a great take on that side. Lucio, I think it was, over on that flank. As we said, two guys who can go aerial on that side, and going to say penalty inside the 10, I think.
It's not the first time we've seen Lucio out-jump it. Anyone on this field there. He's done it before in that first half there. He's so good under the high ball, isn't he?
Yeah, they both go up. Kamisala on that side as well.
Must be a problem with...
But I think we've seen enough from Semi Kamisala on that side as well to think Jeff Robson might go there again and back his winger to pull one down.
On this line, yep.
But he was just a little bit in front of the kick of the ruling there. Phillips now take it up towards halfway. Met there by Ralphs. Bowditch coming in underneath to make that tackle as well. Rigg. Thompson. Thompson will play it on the 40. Rigg at dummy half. He's back into the action. Boyle on the short side. Bowditch making that tackle. That's been spilt there by Reid, I think it was. You've got to give the number 10 a rap there from the Canaries, Johnny. He got right up in Jared Boyle's face there. You can't give him any room to work, and he was all over him there.
Yeah, he sure was there. It was Reece Bowditch there really putting pressure on Jared Boyle. Thought he was going to go flat to Dow then, but he went out the back to Reid. And it was just a little bit unlucky there. The pass a little bit wayward there, but it was all the pressure there from Bowditch.
So Robson to feed the scrum.
Head down, put the ball in. Out.
Hawkins from the back of the scrum. Peeper off his left foot. I think he sniffed some clear air there.
Move, Collie.
But Reid, or rather it was Cross making that tackle. Wallace now on to Ralphs. Ralphs, bit of a goose step as he goes into the line.
Move now, Dick.
He'll play it on halfway. Hawkins dummies, blindside goes open to Bowditch. Bowditch dumped on his back there in the tackle of Wood. Quick play the ball there from the Canaries prop. Ariola there, and that'll say that was forward. I thought it was 50-50 at best, Johnny. We heard the call straight away forward from the Collies bench. Just see both sides, just some mistakes creeping in and a bit of intensity just dropping out of this one.
There's been a few forward passes in the game. Both number 9s or acting halves out on the field, they really like to play a flat game of rugby league, and if either of their runners just go that tad little bit early, it does become a forward pass, and we've seen it about 3 or 4 times today.
You've got to put that on your big men, don't you, Johnny?
Yeah.
They've got enough to worry about there at dummy half. It's a tough job there to give the service there from all day. You can't have your guys creeping up on you and forcing you into a forward pass, as we saw there. So Reid goes open. Met there by Peeper. Kamisala involved in that tackle as well. Lucio, he takes it over halfway. Dragged down there by Ralphs. Jake Hawkins also involved. The tackle's racking up for Hawkins in the middle of the park. Rigg gets away from the tackle of Ralphs. Bowditch comes and makes the tackle with Ariola. They'll go open again. This looks like Dow just come onto the park too, the younger Dow. Rigg, second man for Boyle. Cross, second man again for Reid. Well tackled over there on that edge by McCann. Or rather, it was Peeper, in fact. Good ball there from Cross. Duffy going for the line. Duffy's over. And he's got there. I tell you what, Johnny, it didn't look like there was a whole lot doing on that blind side, but some clever work there from Jack Cross. Just sniffed out an opportunity. But Duffy had plenty to do there, but Cross is in the corner. Some lax defence on the short side there from the Canaries.
Yeah, very ordinary defence there from the Canaries, but that's Gavin Duffy's second for the day. A bit of good work there from Dante Lucio, the young winger there. He's come and jumped into the centres here and put Duffy onto the wing there, but nice little hands and vision up there, eyes up play there from both Lucio and also Cross. And look, he's just developing into a better and better number 7 each week, isn't he, Jack Cross?
Indeed, we say often he'd rather be in the back row if you gave him the option, but doing very well. I looked out of the bench there. I thought Nathan Fee was hooking into a can of VB there. That he's not, just for the record. It's the Gatorade. It's the green Gatorade. It threw me right off. That he's starting the celebrations with 28 minutes to go.
Well, he probably can, to be honest.
But he's not, ladies and gentlemen, at home.
He's still got his hat on, so he's in good spirits.
He's in good spirits. And Cross will attempt what'll be a tough conversion. Taking his time with this one, Jack Cross. Moves in. Again, he's got a good piece of that one. And off the upright. Well, that's cruel. He really does get a good nudge on it, doesn't he, Johnny? The distance is never a worry for him. He's got a fair heave on that boot, and that one just off the upright.
Yeah. You would have backed him in there a little bit, wouldn't you? You tend to feel he gets those ones that are harder, but that one, look, the upright's still swinging, so he's had good contact on that from the tee. But look, if he's only 2 from 5 with the boot, if he'd gotten all 5 of those kicks, we'd be in a lot bigger ball game here.
As Dowell comes forward and takes that one. And that's some good front-on contact there. How do you like that, young fella? 200 NRL gamer Joel Reddy. Welcoming the young bloke to first grade in the Illawarra League as Phillips breaks 3 tackles there. He's into the backfield, Phillips. Dragged down from behind by Peeper. And Hawkins just had a bit of a second dig with the knees there, I think.
What about Phillips just telling to Ryan Jackson, give him 10, give him 10.
Give him 10. I don't think so, Buffer, but that's the typical run you see from Phillips, isn't it? At that moment, just when we said some intensity dropping out of the game, it's usually when he finds another gear and lifts.
I can't help it.
Very nearly went bursting straight into the clear there.
Hold it, guys.
Hicks with the first carry.
Move now, Dapto, right away.
Off the tap.
Wait for it.
Rigger dummy half onto Wood. Wood barging his way forward. Met there by Rouse and Areola. Rig, they go short side, cross with a head of steam, flat onto that one, Hicks. Coming on that one hard there, the number 7. Rig from dummy half. You know he's going to have a crack from there. It's a bit like that, isn't it, Johnny? Death, taxes, and Brody Rig having a crack from close range.
Look, he's always going to go, isn't he? And it's something that Dapto have done a couple of times here today. They've been able to hold Brody Rig out. Something Thurl couldn't do a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he had a double that day.
We know how dangerous he is here. Look, it must be on every coach's tip sheet when you play against Collies. You know Brody Rig's going to go.
Thompson, that's good front on contact there from Bowditch, and they spill the ball. Good tackle there from the number 10. Hasn't he had a little good stint since coming back onto the park, Bowditch?
Yeah, he's been good, Bowditch. He come off the bench. Areola started the game, but he's been very, very impressive since gracing the field at Dapto Showground today.
Robson on the short side. McCann will make his way back infield. Play it there on the 30-metre line. Ralph's lumbering onto that one. He'll be made to play it a couple short of the 40. Jake Wood just getting a bit tangled up there. Bowditch now tucking that ball under his arm. Eking out every metre he can on that carry. Hawkins now to Robson. Ready. Some space on this side. He's going to throw the long ball there. McCann into the clear. He's got support on the inside in Robson. Robson's going for the line. Can he get there? He can get there. There you go. Didn't know if the old legs would carry him all the way, but he gets there. Beautiful work in the lead up there from McCann. Beautiful ball there from Reddy. I thought he was attempting the cutout pass to Basaru, but hits McCann on the chest. Bursts into the clear and he finds the offload, and Jeff Robson steaming up the middle on the inside in support. And he scores next to the post, and it's game back on, Johnny.
Yeah, it sure is. Great try there by the Canaries veteran, Jeff Robson. I tell you what, he wouldn't want that over again there a couple of more metres down the paddock, because it's been a long time since he's hit fresh air like that, I reckon. He was looking for support, but the old legs got him over the line, and good support play there by the veteran, wasn't it there? McCann, he stepped off the right, got through, found Robson on the inside there, and good lead-up work there. The ball from Joel Reddy was A1.
Just clever play there from a couple of veterans. Robson started the movement off. He caught it on the short side there and just early ball to Reddy to sense there was some space. He's always going to have a player of Joel Reddy's quality. He's always going to have defences looking in and not out. It just creates that little bit of space for McCann. And Robson good enough to finish. The Canaries not going to go down without a fight in this one, it seems. 22 minutes to go. 24-10 the score. Still a very steep climb, but another try here pretty quickly, Johnny, and all of a sudden it's game right back on.
Yeah, could turn around here very quickly here. Dapto just got to get their way down the other end of the field and start putting points on the board. But yeah, they need to look to the likes of Jeff Robson and also Joel Reddy here to really try and steer this team round the paddock. And Collegians, they'll be a little bit upset about that. letting that one in there, because they've been all over Dapto in this second half, and it was just that ball from Joel Reddy that really bamboozled them.
13, stand! Lock in 12, 14 here, hold. Go. 1.
Apologies for the technical difficulties there. Not of the Fatty Watt and Andrew Johns variety, genuine technical difficulties.
Hold, go. 2.
I don't need to be told what an escort is, but we'll see.
Clear him! Lock in.
Now as that was Thistleweight on that side.
Joey's still laughing about that, isn't he?
I think he is, yeah. I was in the box next to him on that one. It was between him and JT in that box. It was very hard to get the lid back on once the laughter started coming.
Last tackle, hands away, get your hands out.
Now Thistleweight will play it there on the 30. Peeper, he's going to go high. Reed, or rather Ellis, is going to come forward for it, and he times his leap well. Johnny, I don't think Murph Penny will be too disappointed with that set after points to get through there and get to a kick.
No, definitely not there. It's what you really need to do there off that back of points. We've seen it so many times in this competition that the mistake comes off the back end of points here. You really need to concentrate on that first set of 6 after points and really try and turn the opposition around, and that's exactly what Dapto have done there.
Rig onto Ellis. Ellis looking for some space up through the middle. He's levelled there as he falls though by Hawkins. Rig at dummy half again. Phillips still carrying defenders over the 40.
Give him room. Don't fight on him. That's it.
Phillips, or rather Rig, onto Cross, who heaves this one down. It's a tester for Wallace, but plenty of time, and he makes light work of it in the end. But good chase on that kick there from the Dogs. They're going to make him play it barely a metre out from his own try line. Baseru at dummy half. Onto the 17 has just come on the park for the Canaries. Trey Stewart it is on that side. And now no markers there, and Baseru pinching a couple of metres. It's Trey Stewart again, so getting himself involved early, having been injected into the action on that side, the number 17. Abu Garda now getting on the back of it. And you just sense a bit of a lift in Dapto on the way they're going about their business here. Just sensing if they can grab some more quick points, they can really make a game of this one down the stretch. Alec Reed coming forward to field that one. Wallace, Varch making the tackle with the kicker, Jeff Robson there. And all of a sudden it's the rule, Johnny. It looks like a bit of stings just came out of them there. A bit slow to come back on side, and you can throw a blanket over them at the moment.
Yeah, they're bunched a bit here, Collie's behind the ruck, but look, it seems to be a little bit more level playing field the last 10 minutes of the game. Both sides starting to really get into the grind.
That's what we have seen. You take out probably the start of both halves, those 10-minute periods. It's been very much an even contest for large stretches of this one.
Move 14. Lock in.
They're playing a lot more direct at the moment, both teams, aren't they?
Through the middle is where they're trying to find some joy. Rig. It probably has a lot to do with the respective dummy halves at the moment. Direct is the only way they know.
Hold 6. Wait for it. Go. That's fine on the kicker.
Wallace coming forward, and I think he spilt that there, Harris. He came through and tried to just rip that one out of the arms of Wallace. Interesting to see what call they'll say. Knock on Collegians. In the end, it did look like a bit of a kick and hope, but in the end, it almost bounced very favourably for the Dogs there, Johnny.
Yeah, it was a kick and hope there, but look, the chase from Harris was very, very good. Didn't take his eyes off the ball there, and neither did the fullback in Braxton Wallace there. It was both of them just had eyes for the ball only there, but it was the back rower in Harris that got the first touch and resulted in a knock on.
They go short side for Reddy. That's an offload there from Reddy to McCann. And you do just sense, Johnny, don't you, that if they're going to be any chance of getting back in this one, it's going to have to be one of those big guns he Reddy's. Robson, Hawkins, that can make things happen. Ariola now, he's got the arm free, just looking for support. He couldn't find it. So he'll play it just short of halfway. Peeper now. Robson back in the middle looking for Peeper again.
12, move!
It's what we spoke about, Johnny, when they play well. It's the simple stuff off the back. A quick play the balls, and we won't have one there. Looks like Peeper just copped a bit of a knock to the back of the head there.
Just wait.
He's just clutching
Wait
at
for
the
the blow
neck
time
there,
on
Peter.
tackle for it is, yeah.
Maybe just got put in a bit of an awkward position in that tackle, but
Play the ball there.
looks like he's okay, peeps, and play on will be the call. Robson back on the inside for Ralphs. Ralph's driven backwards there, and I think they say knock on there. I thought he might have slipped the offload away to Hawkins, but they'll say knock on the call, and not seeing a whole lot of protest there from James Ralphs, Johnny, so perhaps a moment he'd like to have over again.
Yeah, definitely, but good defence there from Collegians. And Jeff Robson, he always comes across, he gets that second runner back underneath him, doesn't he? I tell you what, he'll fluke him soon, and he'll dummy to two, and he'll come out, and he'll find ready or something. He's just too smart, Jeff Robson.
It's got to be where the joy is. You can see when they just get some speed through the play, the ball and can play off the back of that. That's where they're at their best. Dapto, if you can slow them down and force them into a set-piece type game, it's not their bread and butter, but make it just about pure football. They've got players in there that can make things happen, as we have seen. Manton out of dummy half. Been quiet today, Brad Manton, by his usual standards. He'll play it on the 40. He might have picked up a bit of a knock there, Manton, too. So a bit of a fear goes through the Collies camp. Rig onto cross right into the line. Reed, but well read over on that side by Pieper. And he's got the one-on-one strip too, Pieper. Great play there from the Canaries. Fullback come 5'8". And that could be a turning moment there for the Canaries. You think if they're going to be any chance of pulling this one out of the fire, they're going to need to produce some points very quickly. 15 minutes to go. 3 tries, still the difference. Ready on the short side. Baseru will come back in field. Dangerous from anywhere, Baseru. Now he's coming back towards the touchline. He does a 360. Now he's going back in field. He's beaten about 10 tackles. He's on his way back up towards the 30.
Brad Manton on this side is in some trouble. He's limping around like a duck on a hot plate.
Yeah, I think already looks like he's just picked up on that. See how clever they can be. Hawkins a dummy half, but they go open side to Robson. He throws the lofted ball to Pieper. And he's still hobbling around on this side, Manton, and it's got to be on one of these playmakers to notice that and come that way, surely. They go short side. This will wait some numbers. And he throws a long ball there for Stewart. Stewart, the chip for himself, he's chasing. Well done over there on that side. First, this way putting Stewart away. And Stewart with a nice little way to kick and forces the repeat. But Johnny, I think there was a golden opportunity to come closer to us on this side, near our commentary position. Brad Manton was in all sorts there, hobbling on this edge. He still is.
He still looks really lame at the moment, doesn't he? But look, they've got
He
to
hasn't
have
put the arm up. It doesn't look like it's anything too serious, but he's certainly not at 100% just yet. He's looking at the inside of the kneecap. He might have copped a bit of a banger there on the knee. But he's going to look like he's going to try to tough it out.
Well, if you were Jeff Robson, you'd have a look at this and send big Robbie Baseru at him front on, wouldn't you?
You would think so, but there is the time to do it. And Baseru back infield there for Varches. Met there by Dowell again. That battle resumes. Hawkins at dummy half onto Ralphs. Ralphs will take it over the 30. So I'm ticking down. Robson, second man for Pieper, all a bit before the line here for the Canaries, and Wallace. And we just saw there, Johnny, it was all a little bit sideways. Not too many questions asked of the defence, and it amounts to nothing there.
It was good pressure by Lucio as well, coming up into the grill of the Canaries outside backs. But look, there's just the structure's not there. The shape's not there at the moment for the Canaries. Collegians just doing so well at slowing this game down, not allowing Collegians just to play, allowing the Canaries to play free-flowing football.
So Ellis will take it over halfway. Colley's appealing for a penalty there. It's not forthcoming. Thompson takes it over the 40. Been outstanding this afternoon, the veteran. And now Dowell, probably the biggest stint he's had off the park this whole season before being injected back into it there. So plenty of venom in that carry. Just having a bit of a wrestling match on the ground there with Reddy Rigg from dummy half, straight into the clear off his right foot, and Brody Rigg will crawl. And that'll just about do it, Johnny. We were just talking a little bit earlier about how dangerous he is from dummy half. Senses his moment there. One marker, burns them through the middle, steps off the right foot, slams down the match winner.
Yeah, well, it's where he's at his best, Brady Rigg, close to the line and towards the tail end of halves or the game. Speaking of Nathan Feeney, loves having Brady Rigg come off the bench and just taking advantage of those tiring forwards through the middle. We've seen him start the game today due to the absence of Paul Roberts. So now we're seeing to see Brady Rigg really shine in this game.
I only just noticed, Johnny, it must have escaped our attention there. Jared Boyle getting an early mark this afternoon down there on the bench.
Well, I was running my eyes over waiting for the Hawkins v Boyle match-up again, and then I looked over and seen Boyley having an early smoko here, so we won't be seeing that rematch again. That'll have to be for later on in the season, so we'll stay glued for that one towards semi-final time.
Cross now with, dare I say it, his easiest task of the afternoon. Almost dead in front.
This will hit the upright for sure.
You can see the big chunk of paint he took off the upright on his last attempt there.
Is there a reason why there's no black dot here? I've only just noticed it since you brought it up earlier on.
I only just noticed it on the fly too. I'm not sure.
Can we get someone from the Dapto Canaries?
We'll log the question, we'll minute the observation, and we'll see if we can get the beer baron onto it. He's always across the detail, the beer baron. I'm sure he understands.
He'll be brought up at the next general meeting.
It'll be the next general meeting, absolutely.
Well, he's kicked one. Jack Cross has got this one.
Be right underneath the programs.
Yeah.
On the agenda.
Wilco's writing a tweet right about now.
I've got to say, I'll go on the record and say, I'm with him on the programs. This prolonged program blow-up, it's getting beyond a joke. I've got to tell you, the program, they print the program, it looks nothing like the team that they play on the weekend. All these people are blowing up. They want a program for what the team looked like on Tuesday and not what's actually happening today. So there you go.
They're getting a live app. The live app's coming soon.
The app's got to be coming, but there you go. That's just my 2 cents on the programs, Johnny.
Wilco's shaking his head.
Oh, there's a few people shaking their head. And now Duffy appealing for a penalty. He won't be forthcoming as Thompson now bumps away from one tackle, takes it up over the 40. 9 minutes 57 on the clock as it ticks down. Rigg from dummy half again, really sensing his moment now, the number 14 for Collegians. Harris, cross, and the kick nice and high to be a tester for Kamisala, and he takes it well in the end. Not a bad kick there from Cross, and I do wonder, Johnny, with Jared Boyle on the bench, could it be just a bit of a tactic to leave young Jack Cross out there and really run the show without Jared Boyle there, just as a training run for, what could occur down the stretch, because he's certainly being the dominant playmaker and running the show out there at the moment.
Yeah, well, he's doing a good job at the moment, Cross, with Boyle off the field, yeah. But you'd have to look at something that's... He's a bit light on, Nathan Foon, isn't he, around that position? So it's a good time for Jack Cross to really take control of this game. But on the back end of his forwards, he doesn't really need to do much.
As Baseru's got some space on this side, he stops and goes again. He's going to back himself, throws it back on the inside for Robson. Forward pass, they will say. I thought it's the right call from where we were. He didn't have a lot of space on this side, but as we've seen over the years, Johnny, he doesn't need a whole lot of it.
It was Twinkle Toes down there, wasn't he?
He backed himself down there, and a good effort in the end from the Collies cover. I think it was Duffy on this side. It was a little bit worse for wear for his effort. No, it was Harris, the back rower, coming across.
He's done a mountain of work out here on this left-hand fringe, Harris, today.
Yeah, it's been a tough gig out there defensively, but
been equal to it. Guys.
8 minutes 24 on the clock, 30-10 the score. You see now the skipper from Dapto also getting a spell, Joel Reddy.
Wait there.
Early mark here on the bench. You've got to say, Johnny, to this point, the 20-point margin, probably a fair one given what we've seen throughout this one.
Yeah, look, they're resting Joel Reddy. James Rouse looks like he's getting a couple of running repairs to his shoulder here, so they've opted for the bench here, the Canaries, just to allow some of these players to come on and have a bit of game time. Brad Wilmont onto the field for the Dapto Canaries for the first time today.
You're holding on, Collies! Hold! Go.
Phillips off his left foot.
He hasn't had a break today, Blake, has he?
No, he hasn't. Been there for spent most of his time on the edge as well. It's a luxury he doesn't always have there as Rigg takes it up over the 40.
Thompson, he's played a full 80.
He'd be close too, yeah. Did the referees tell you that in your referee mic there, Johnny, in your headgear? Or?
Yeah, we had a quick chat, me and Jacko.
It is the last tackle. Dowell at dummy half. They go to Cross, who goes from right to left, and cops a bit of a knock there from Hawkins after kicking, but finds touch. And a neat little kick there from the number 7, Johnny.
Well, it's been touched here, so they're going to get the feed here, Collegians.
Well, they have, so very well done in the end. I don't know if Jack Cross did that by design, but the result is what he was after in a repeat set.
It's interesting there, Hawkins honed down on Cross after that kick, didn't he? So Hawkins has let the battle with Boyle going. He might pick this one up with Jack Cross.
Here it is, guys. Here we are, guys. Have a look.
Indeed, he could. And it looks like it'll be Harris that's going to feed the scrum.
Thank you. Thank you. Got a football there.
So back row will come halfback here, the number 11.
Pack down, Dapto, Collie. Pack down. Lock, head in. Okay, 11.
The sort of players Nathan Fleen likes, doesn't he, Johnny? You pick your players and then you decide which number will be on their back. He just loves a pure footballer, doesn't he?
Yeah.
19, 11.
Doesn't matter if you're a front row, you can play halfback for Nathan Fleen.
That's right, as Rig at dummy half. On to Hicks, who spent some time at dummy half. Now moving into a back row. He's getting awfully close to the line there, and I think he's got over. He has. Well, Zach Hicks, he's almost knocked that upright clean out of the ground.
They're still shaking.
But the Dapto defence, they're just going a little bit to sleep as the clock winds down, and be very good off the bench today. Young Zach Hicks deserves a 4-pointer, certainly.
Yeah, he sure does. He's been very, very busy, Zach Hicks. He's been strong with his carries, and we just witnessed that there by him crossing the stripe. A little bit of assistance there from the goal pad there, and the uprights are still shaking. But a soft try in the end, really, wasn't it? Straight up the middle there. He probably wasn't deserving to have that 4-pointer scored because there was players everywhere for the Canaries, but Zach Hicks too big, too strong.
I think that's the way it's been throughout most of the afternoon, Johnny, and we said through the week we'd have a good indication of where Dapto were really at after that run of 3 straight wins and where they sit and still remain for mine in the box seat for that finals berth, but probably got a bit of a lesson today in how to start big games and how you've got to be for a full 80 against one of these big guns. They have managed it and can do it. They beat West a couple of weeks ago in that boil over victory, so it's not beyond them, but it just was that bridge a little bit too far this afternoon.
Yeah, there's a gap between the top 3 and your 4 and 5. There's a big gap there still. Look, Corrimal not playing today due to the wet weather. Gibson Park not in action, so that game will be rescheduled here. So it does still leave the door open for Corrimal to pinch that 4th point spot if they do somehow get over the Butchers in 2 weeks.
We'll have to see what the score is at Berkeley West as well. Berkeley not going to throw themselves completely out of that finals race just yet either, so plenty more to be written before the season's over, Johnny. It's why we love the league, but in this one just about finished 36-10, the score, 4.5 minutes left to go in this one.
It's been a big day for Collegians here, hasn't it? They absolutely romped it in reserve grade, and they're going to get a first grade victory here as well. So well done to the Collegians club for today.
And Harris fields that one. Phillips coming in off the back fence. He just doesn't stop, does he, Blake Phillips? They're up by however many. There's only 4 minutes to go, and he's still trying to break tackles and still getting every bit of juice as he can.
Like the Duracell bunny, isn't he?
He is, isn't he, indeed. That's a very good,
just keeps
very
going.
good analogy as we see Tilly now take it up over the 30. Thompson, speaking of Energizer bunnies, he's been very much in that vein this afternoon. Takes it over the 40.
6 square. Hold.
Plays it to Rig. Dowell. He takes it over halfway. Big Josh Dowell, he'll feel like he wasn't really in the game today, will he? When he hasn't got 80 minute riggers.
He'll wake up fresh tomorrow.
He'll wake up tomorrow and go, what's going on? I need to go for a run. But as this kick comes in behind, Basaru, Wallace going back to field it in a good chase. Good chase on that kick here, only with 3 minutes to go, Johnny. It's still just not giving an inch.
No, the intensity's still there for Collegians.
Stewart coming away from his own 10.
You've seen last week against Berkeley, they put the foot off the accelerator in that second half, and they haven't done that today, have they? They've just kept going for the full game.
The game's had its ebbs and flows, as they all do, but got no doubt that would have been part of Nathan Fleen's spiel this week. The drop away they had against Berkeley last week wouldn't have been acceptable to him. And for the standards they've set, so no doubt he would have said, regardless of the way this one plays out, I want an 80-minute effort, and you've got to say he's probably got it.
To be there at the end of the season, you're going to have to play 2 40-minute halves. You can't leave anything in the bank.
And Pieper now from inside the 40, he's going to look for a 40-20.
Going to go close.
And it's going to go really close. I think he might have pinged it. If that's gone out, it was definitely from inside 40.
I think we're going to get a 40-20.
And I think Peeps looks like he's the only one who's quite aware of where he kicked it from.
It is a 40-20.
So nice there from Pieper. It'll be a tap, but the quick one's not allowed. But Pieper, some smart work there from the number 1. And they're just going to look to peg it back. And as we've said so often, Johnny, too, for and against, a big factor in this race for 4th spot. So any points they can peg back here, Dapto will be valuable.
Well, if they can get a converted meat pie here, it only puts them behind 20 on the for and against, which is huge considering your likes of Corrimal have got a much worse one than what Dapto does.
Indeed they do. Dapto looking for some last points. Flat ball from Varches to Areola, and he's got the flick pass as well. Front rower to front rower. Well, what a try that is. Try of the century. No, not quite. We won't go there yet, but that was a brilliant try. Don't you love to see that? Front rower to front rower to score a try.
We got the Joshy Varches cheer squad over here to the right. So.
It was Varches onto Areola, the flick pass, and big Joshy Varches, he just barged his way across there. He wasn't going to be stopped from close range.
No, he wasn't. He had his head down, didn't he?
He wasn't looking for support, was he?
No way in the world. He had the blinkers on. But important try for for and against. Like, he's going to knock this one over, and we'll go into 36-16. Minute and a half remaining.
Do you reckon we'll get to the end of the season and they'll win by 4 and against on 6 points, and you'll come back and go, Troy Peeper, you basically booked a finals berth with that 40-20 when the match looked dead and buried. And he adds the extras there. Peeper and Colley's coming back up. I can't imagine they'll be too quick to want to get things back underway. 36-16 the score. If there is anyone who deserves a try this afternoon for the Canaries, it has to be big Joshy Varches. He's been good. It's been an up and down game for most of the Canaries out there. He's been outstanding with his work rate, and what he's managed to produce has been all year. All said.
Well, he had to step up this year, didn't he? There was the likes of JD and Hendo have left the squad this year, and there was the likes of him and also Reece Bowditch who really had to stand up and play a lot of football in season 2019. And Varches, he's doing a very solid job. Between him and Jake Hawkins, they've probably got the 3 points today for the Dapto side.
Well, I did think Josh Varches in that year following Dapto's premiership year where they made the grand final there and ultimately got edged out there. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. I thought he was just about the best front rower going around in the competition that year for the minutes and work rate he produced. So had a year off last year, but Mick Murphy and Chris Lightfold brought him back on board for that very reason. As we see the clock counting down, a couple of seconds left on it. Robson's going to look for Baser here. They're going to try to pinch some points at the end there, but Ellis reels that one in, and that will be just about the end. It will be full time, 36-16. The score, Collegians over Dapto. They keep going on their merry way. Collegians, they'll solidify their place in that top three. Dapto into fourth spot, but with some things to look at and take away as they look to mount a charge at the finals. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you, Johnny Pett. Thank you to our broadcast partners, University of Wollongong and McDonald's. I've been Mitch Jennings from the Illawarra Mercury. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you out there next week, somewhere in the Illawarra.
Bye.